in the company, and how could this impact the XFL? So this weekend is the D23 Expo in California. Disney says it's the ultimate Disney fan event. D23 Expo celebrates the Walt Disney Company, all of its beloved stories and worlds, close quote. That's from Disney. I would love to be there. You know me, I'm a Disney free nerd. I love Disney, Star Wars, Marvel Universe. And it's exciting because Disney owns ESPN and ABC. So over the weekend, Disney released trailers for the new content coming to its streaming service, Disney Plus, new things coming to its Disney theme parks, and new movies coming out over the next year, and so much more. Everything Disney at this event is discussed. Now, back in May, the XFL signed a multi-year agreement with ESPN and the Walt Disney Company, giving the network exclusive broadcast rights to the XFL. Since then, we have not heard much about this TV agreement. If the XFL was planning to do a behind-the-scenes TV show on its streaming platform, this was the time and place to do it. But not much was said about ESPN at the event. But Disney CEO Bob Chapek talked with Variety about its cable channel and Disney's view of live sports in the future. And this is why it's important. Quote, "The Disney of the next 100 years will be more expansive than the Disney of the first 100 years. The brand's elasticity is amazing with a capital D, Disney. Each of the components of our company, whether it's Marvel, Lucasfilms, Pixar, ESPN, and ABC, have their own identity, but they all play into a much more expansive view of what Disney is. Our investors only know what we shared with them to date. They don't really know what our plans are for the future. We've got very ambitious plans for sports. Something like 95 of the top 100 most viewed shows in the past year on broadcast TV have been live sports. So if you're in an advertising business, if you're a business of talking to people, that's kind of a big deal," close quote. Now, NFL games accounted for 75, and listen to this, I repeat, NFL games accounted for 75 of the top 100 most watched broadcasts in 2021. Let me say that again. 75 of the top 100 most watched broadcasts in 2021 was football, was NFL games. Football is king in the United States. Disney knows this. Fox Sports knows this with the bringing back, of course, of the USFL. Chapek did not mention the XFL by name, but clearly the XFL is part of Disney's sports plans for the future, hence maybe why Fox wanted to do the USFL thing, because they got wind that Disney and the XFL might be working together. So some have speculated that ESPN is a money loser for Disney. I've heard this before. I personally have talked to people at Disney, and they said this is not the case at all. They make a lot of money off of Disney, or off of ESPN. Chapek talked about the soaring fees of sports and Disney selling the worldwide leader in sports. He said, quote, "The advertising demand for ESPN speaks volumes. But what else speaks volumes is that when the word was out on the street that, well, maybe Disney will spin off ESPN, we had no less than 100 inquiries of people that wanted to buy it. What does that tell you? That says we've got something really good, and if you have a strategic plan and a vision for where it fits into the company over the next 100 years, then you don't exactly want to divest yourself of it. And we have a plan. We've just not shared that plan yet." The Disney CEO mentions not sharing their sports plan to date in both quotes, which is kind of an interesting thing. He later said they would hold an event and discuss their sports plan. Quote, "We will at some point do another investor day." The last Disney investor day was in March of 2022. If they did the same time frame in 2023, it would be in the middle of the XFL season and a perfect time to drop their grand vision for sports and the XFL. Now, why not do it now? Because the sports world right now is wrapped up in the NFL. See the 75 of the top 100 programs in 2021 were NFL games. You get the picture. If anything, it gives you an idea that Disney is all in for sports, and the XFL will play a role in its grand plan. This is freaking Disney. Now, if you recall, the XFL was featured in ESPN's annual event called ESPN The Picnic for employees last month. The House of the Mouse has big plans for the XFL. We've showed that graphic before, is that there's an XFL logo as part of that. The NFL, college football, and XFL, those are the three things that were featured at ESPN The Picnic. But before Disney can get all excited about the XFL, they need to play games first and see how the XFL organization plays out, and if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Danny Garcia, and Redbird Capital can build something sustainable. Now, with Disney and the NFL as their partners, the sky is the limit for the XFL. Of course, the journey begins in February, a week after the Super Bowl. So it was interesting and nice to hear that the CEO of Disney basically was saying that ESPN, they are not getting rid of ESPN, despite what other people rumored have interest in, thought that that was going to happen. And they have a grand vision for sports, and football is important. So they have a partnership with the NFL. They need something else, and that something else is the XFL that comes with it, Danny Garcia and The Rock and Redbird Capital partners. So you see that the XFL is in good position. The biggest thing is, can they execute when they hit the field in February? That is going to be the key, and that's something we're just going to have to wait and see. All right, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with your social media stuff and so much more right after this. Stay tuned, my friends.